Well, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube people, got a special guest on, Martins. He is the CEO of Debitum, which is the crypto that's in the invoice factoring and such, similar to what Populous does. And it was one I was pretty psyched up about to talk on my channel. And several of you guys were asking about some interviews coming up with some of these ICOs that I've been talking about, and here's one of them. So, Martins, welcome to my news YouTube channel, and it's a pleasure. I guess it's a little late there where you are. I think you said you were working a little late in the office tonight.
It's actually already early in the morning.
Oh, super, super late. Okay. Yeah, we're night and day
Yeah.
from where we are. What was it, Lithuania? Is that what you said?
Yes, Lithuania. But I'm
Lithuania.
happy to be here. It doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's cryptos, right? If it's anything crypto related, it doesn't matter. Everything is fine.
Exactly, exactly.
Cool. So I've had a few people asking a little bit more about it, and just got a couple more, like about 5 or 6 talking points, things to maybe kind of go over. And I'll just, if there's anything you end up wanting to bring up or talk about, certainly we can go right into it. You can, the floor is going to be yours. But I want to start off with what is the story behind Debitum? You know what I mean? Where did that come from? What did you guys do? Why did you pop up out of nowhere?
Actually, it's a long version of the story. It's like that we actually started an IT company like 6 years ago, and we did a quite large project for a large corporation. But we had problems with cash. As always, right? You start a company and the cash
Cash.
flow is the biggest problem. So what we tried to do, we tried to solve it through banks and through traditional measures to get an invoice factoring. And we had actually quite a good customer. It was really good. It's like 2 billion revenues corporation. But bank turned us down because they had not filled some paper in Lithuania. So it was like a bureaucratic thing why we got turned down. And we felt really sad about it. So what happened out of that, we thought it's not right. And we solved that issue. We solved it. We got the cash from otherwise. But we thought it's not right and we need to solve it. So we actually set up a financing company so that we started to provide loans to other small companies because we thought there are other small companies having such problems. And we started that one. And it was 3 years ago when we started the financing company. And when we moved on with that business and we thought about getting international, we thought about solving that problem on a larger scale, we actually understood that it doesn't really work like that. Because all these loans, especially in different markets, they're really specific in terms of how you can measure risk, what data can you get to measure risk or credit score, what is the process of debt collection, how that works, what are the legal implications, etc. And we understood that it's actually bringing that IT knowledge that we have and bringing that blockchain technology, a modern blockchain technology. We understood that it's better to solve it that way, to do it in a decentralized way on a blockchain, rather than trying to make a big elephant out of non-crypto company. So that's how we ended up with Debitum. We had the pain on our own. We felt the pain. We solved it in a local place, and now we want to solve it globally.
And so you said this was about 6 years ago when you were originally doing that? Okay,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
was not
Some six.
about 6, 7 years. So blockchain really wasn't around then. I know Bitcoin was there, but this kind of stuff with Ethereum and the blockchain and ERC20 tokens and all that stuff, that never really existed. So this is like perfect timing for you guys.
Yeah, but at that time, that was like non-crypto experience at that time, because at that time it wasn't there, so we didn't really know about it.
Yeah.
But as we built up experience, we built up IT experience and the finance experience. We started to get to know blockchain, Bitcoin, and etc. So then it all came together, and we followed other similar companies in summer last year doing their projects. So we looked at that, how that happened. So we learned as much as we could from that. So yeah, it really took us. it's what I meant. It's like it's really natural journey for us. It's not something that we just came up with like let's do financing. Why not?
Yeah.
It's actually a really natural journey for us, and I hope it brings like it makes us to it brings possibilities for us to do it easier or to do it better.
Well,
Because
you've already had the experience. I mean, you basically were already doing this, except just not on the blockchain.
yeah, exactly, and then we are moving that experience to blockchain, and we actually, I think what we are adding to it is that decentralization element, right? Because now most of those companies, bigger or smaller, and platforms as well, they work like one to one. They work like someone wants to borrow and someone wants to lend, so it's like one to one. But we thought that we need to go a step further and we need to introduce those third parties like risk assessment, like actually we just concluded partnership with PayPal, or insurance that we already have also some agreements with like non-crypto insurances. Then and that is like on the before you give a loan, right? You can use those services to make sure that the loan is like legit, that it's that you can understand what's interest rate versus risk, and if something happens, you also have the debt collection that can collect that debt. And I think that decentralization element is very important. From our experience.
Sure. Oh yeah, this makes perfect sense. I couldn't believe how quickly that news came where you guys signed a deal with PayPal as a partner or whatever, and I'm like, oh, my subscribers and I too, we love PayPal. It was a great thing,
Okay.
and Nick Chandy and everything. I'm like, yeah, Nick, this is so cool. And then I just get that email. I'm like, oh no way, Debitum's working with those guys. Yes, like it's just like they say, a match made in heaven. It was great. I was so psyched when I saw that come through.
We are too, actually. We are too.
So let me ask you, how do you stand out from some other ICO projects? I maybe your IT and finance experience kind of covered a little bit about that, and ready and working infrastructure, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think really one of the things, as I covered, yeah, is that we already have working companies. We actually have in our office. It's early morning, so no one yet came to office, but we are here. We are having more than around 30 people in the office that are working.
Employees.
Yeah, that are
Okay.
working on IT, on finance, and on IC or crowd sale project as such, because crowd sale it requires specific people, right, like community managers,
Oh yeah.
etc. So we have actually a working mechanism already. We actually already started working on a first version from January. We did MVP last year, in-house MVP, and I think we did quite a lot quite good work on smart contracts and technical implementation to show
Yeah.
that we actually are capable of doing that. And from January, we started already to work on first version. I think how we stand out is that for us, for example, because we are doing enterprise, we were doing previously enterprise projects in IT. So for us, like all setting up of the project is quite easy, right? Like we just put new virtual, like to build a project, even the smallest like IT stuff, right? You need like environments, servers, virtual machines, Dockers, Amazon or whatever you use. For us, it's like we just copy paste our infrastructure. We build new project with right out of the gate we can start, right? All the management of that, like Jira, everything, we have all that. So I think for us it's really easy to start it in a way that we don't need to get all the team in or hire all the people. We basically just moved to doing Debitum, and that's actually our plan. Our plan is to move, and that's people were asking me like, how will you keep focus between all these companies and stuff? So actually, we are moving our IT fully to Debitum. Everyone is hyped. Our employees are contributors. They are, all of them are just talking crypto.
Yeah.
I remember Ethereum went down. I came to office. I was quite happy that morning. So I came in smiling, and guys were like, "You don't hold Ethereum apparently because you are smiling." Like, because everyone is holding crypto here in the office. So like they were like, yeah. So yeah, really. So yeah, we started in January, and now we are doing analysis. Actually, yesterday we were discussing with design team. We saw already first designs of the first version. I think that as soon as we get more stable design, we will publish them as well for everyone to see. It's quite interesting. I like designer how he approaches it. I don't know if we will manage to do everything of that usability and user experience in first version, but it's really hyped. So I think that's the difference, that we already have that infrastructure there, and I think it takes a lot of time actually to set it up if you don't have it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's huge thing.
Okay. What is your biggest advantage of Debitum, such as, I have a couple points, the hybrid model and the tokenizing or whatever, fiat loans?
Yeah, I think that actually when we started Debitum, we actually were really thinking about how to make it in a way to make sure that small businesses can actually benefit from the loans, because, and of course crypto is changing, so many regulations are changing, and say just recently in Lithuania as well, they released some regulation on how to account for crypto in accounting. But in reality, in most places, it's not there. So what it means is that actually a company has quite some trouble to account for crypto. They can't take crypto on their books, or it's really like troublesome to do it and how to do it. So from very beginning, we thought, let's do it. We need to do it in a way to take advantage of blockchain, of the security, transparency, data, everything, but to also make it in a way that businesses can actually use it from day one, regardless of regulation, on crypto. And that's why we started with hybrid model. And we believe that's a huge difference and a huge game changer for us, that we will run all the process on the blockchain. We will use Ethereum blockchain in the beginning. We will use our token for transactions and for some other features, but we will at the same time will ensure that businesses get fiat, and it means that they can get it from day one. They can apply for it. They can take the loan. They can pay it back. They understand it. They have no trouble with it. I think it's huge. I think, of course, in the future, we might change it, right? The future we might develop, and we might also allow to take like crypto loan or something. Crypto loan, if crypto becomes less volatile, more stable. But now, for example, as a business, right, I wouldn't take a Bitcoin loan.
Yeah, sure, no. Nobody, everybody wants money. They want the cash. You know, that's what the business needs right now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, I think that's one of the things. But at the same time, when we do that, and when you do fiat loan through Debitum, we actually in a way tokenize that loan, and you can resell that loan already in the crypto world, or in the crypto way, right? So I think it brings additional benefit in a way that everyone can participate in that fiat world, but at the same time they can resell it for
crypto
tokens.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, in crypto. So it's good. And I also think it's something that we also think that what's the difference is that, and we try to push that through a bit, by allowing these fiat loans in crypto world. They are of course they are supposed to be less profitable, right? Because everyone believes crypto should raise like hundreds of % per month.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we allow people holding crypto to put at least some part of their portfolio, let's put it like that, into fiat loan that will be less risky, less volatile, at the same time, of course, less interest, but it brings a good difference to the portfolio, like good diversification.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah, so I think that's something that's very good.
Yeah. Okay. So this problem that Debitum is trying to solve, how big is the pain? You know, it's got, you know, the little side note we have here is huge market cap equals great opportunities to achieve strong token demand. So what do you think? Because I know people always talk about what's populist, but I try to tell people, you know, there's room for other people, and
Yeah.
what happens if you guys, Debitum, runs out there and just gobbles up a bunch of business while Populous is still kind of slow going or whatever. You know, who knows? And I like Populous. I have nothing bad to say about Populous, but you know, there's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition. But this whole space, how big is that problem for you guys to solve?
Yeah, I think first I also like competition. I think competition brings better out of us, right? It brings best
Sure.
result if someone competes. I think it's good. That's what my economics teacher told me.
Yeah.
If you look how big is the problems, and we operate with numbers like around 2 trillion, sorry, around $2 trillion. That's kind of the credit gap for small business. But let's be honest, it is what World Bank has accounted, and it only considers countries that kind of have credit gap. For example, what it means, by World Bank calculations, that is this 2 trillion. They do not account for UK at all, for example, or US. There is like zero in those countries. This credit gap only is built only from developing countries, or not really developed countries. So most of Northern America is not in that statistics. Western Europe is not in that statistics. But we know by experience that says the same UK, where Populous is starting to operations, right? Where there are other companies like Market Invoice in financing, some other companies. In USA, Lending Club, other companies, there is also the credit gap for small companies. So I believe actually, if statistically it's 2 trillion, I believe the gap is actually bigger.
Sure.
Because of those developed countries, they also have a gap for those small companies. So I believe it's a huge gap. And it's definitely placed for more than one, two companies. Definitely placed for more. It's huge opportunity. At the same time, you need to put, token model maybe in a way to do it in a way that when you tackle that opportunity, when you tackle that credit gap, that you actually also get value to token holders, right? Because if you just tackle the problem, but there is no value to token holders, and in crypto world, in ICO, etc., it doesn't really make sense, right? So for that, we actually have made it in a way that we have designed our token model in a way that each transaction, each loan, basically requires more tokens to fulfill that transaction. We basically achieve it by freezing tokens for service providers, and also that provides extra guarantee for future that they will not screw up, that they will be faithful, truthful, transparent. Because with all the technology, it's still possible to not be trustworthy, right? But therefore, we want to make sure that there is incentive in place. So therefore, for each loan transaction, more tokens are needed than they could be like sold. So in that sense, the more of the problem of that $2+ trillion problem we solve, the more tokens will be needed for the ecosystem to operate. So I think it's
that alone would put value. Just if nothing else, that alone is going to put value on the tokens for sure.
Exactly, and I think it's very important. I think it's a very good point to mention that when we look at the business, and this is something that we developed during the process, we are already around a year doing this, and now we finally will end crowd sale soon. But I think what we developed through this time is that in the very beginning we kind of thought it's openly in the very beginning we thought, okay, we do the ICO, we do a kind of crowd sale, we raise funds, and then we do business. But actually it's not like that, and we developed the understanding that you do the crowd sale, but you always will need to care about those token holders, right? So actually it's two businesses. Actually you have to do financing as the main business, but you also have to make sure that token holders can have value of what they're holding. So you need to make sure in a way as much as possible that tokens don't drop value, that, I don't know, you go to exchange, for example, that exchanges are listing you, etc. So that's what we are really working hard on.
Good.
in addition, yeah, to just make sure that everyone's like happy.
Yeah, that's great. It's great that you look out for both sides. Because
Exactly.
most people that follow me, that I'll say most. I don't know about most, but some people just don't even care about anything. Just give me my token. Where's it? What's the price going to go to? That's the brain of some people. But when I look at cryptos, it's not. Yeah, I'd like to be able to make some money, but what are you guys doing to change the world, or what's this particular crypto I'm looking at doing? Is it really something that could go up in value? And if so, why? What are they going to be doing? And that's why I usually try to focus on anything, any crypto, ICO that's related to doing something good that benefits. Because if, not just benefits us, but if it's going to benefit the world somehow or make something easier, an antiquated system go away, and then this is the new model, that's great. But that usually is enough for me to say, oh, well, the token will have some value. But I didn't realize you guys were actually kind of putting it in the mix, so to speak, of what you do there to make sure you're taking care of both people. Because normally you don't do that. You just say, look, the token will be fine by itself. We're focusing on this, and because we're doing good with the customers and what we're doing with our business, the token price will just come. Don't worry about it. But you guys are kind of developing it to where you're making it to where whoever has these token holders should gain value because, like you said, they're having to put more tokens in as the loans come out there. More and more loans, more and more tokens are needed. So that's pretty interesting. I really like that.
Yeah, we spent huge amount of time designing that token model. We did a lot of consultancy, like we consulted with many people from the area that are good with that. Yeah, exactly, because we thought, we need to take care of those people that contributed, because otherwise, like, what's the point of contribution, right? What is in there for those people?
Right.
So we thought, okay, we need to make sure that we as well, in terms of whole Debitum structure, organizational structure, like aims, targets, that we also put targets to make sure that we list, for example, we spread news, we keep community, etc., etc. That's what we are now really like. We are as soon as we are seeing that crowd sale will end soon, so we are looking. Okay, that period will be over, but we still need to make sure that community is there, community management is there, that people discussing on the community, answering questions are there. They can't disappear, right? They just can't disappear. We can't get into our cave and just coding or something. We need to make sure that there is that communication is there.
Communication is key. Talk to the people. Talk to them, even if it's not much. You ain't been around a while. Say something. A lot of places don't do that. They go away, like you said. They go in and you hear from them in a month or so, and it's like, hey, whatever happened with that thing? But yeah, it's, of course, communication is always key, as they say. So I just had a little final note about kind of final thing here. And final talks about how outstanding the Debitum project is. Like, what is the final thing you want to give us?
Yeah, I think everything that we discussed, that the way where we come from, that it's real pain that we had on our own, and we solved already without crypto, with non-crypto environment. We're moving to crypto. I think that our approach to token holders, our actually lean approach, in a way that we don't believe in burning money and that something will happen. That we believe that we need to make sure that we get first feedback as fast as possible. We need to put a lot of effort on business development rather than technology development, because you can make the best technology ever, but if no one knows about it, it's actually not. It's worthless.
Yep.
So these we really want to call ourselves pragmatic. I think that's maybe something that's not that wasn't really fashionable like a year ago in the space, but I believe it's getting more and more fashionable. So I believe that I truly believe that we are under the radar a bit, and I'm thankful for you and other guys that are trying to review and trying to put us up in a space. So I think that's a difference. And for example, to tell a last twist on how we're dealing with that. we are working with the first version. We are setting that, like doing analysis, designs, now user experience, starting some development work already. We plan to launch it by September, but at the same time, we think, okay, September, it's not good enough. So what we are doing already, and I hope we will manage to close the deal this week, is that we are already dealing with borrowers, with the larger borrowers that would be willing to borrow for small companies. And we want to facilitate those loans already before we have the platform.
So you already got customers waiting then?
Yes. And what we want to do that decentralized model without platform already before, in a way kind of a test mode, right? Yeah. But to test it out, to see all the like tweets, what we need to change, and then possibly already to make the first version better. That's kind of what we think. We think in a way that we need to do it as fast as possible. We need to get some result in. We need to get some people, some members on the ecosystem connected, and get it running in a manual way, just to see how it works. And our experience from alternative financing, let me end with such a story. Our experience from alternative financing is like that. When in Lithuania we started, we were one of the first to start, and we actually started. We wanted to start from platform, kind of like software part. That's where we came from. But we quickly understood that we don't really need software to test out if it works, because we really were one of the first one. So we thought we don't know if it will work, so let's test it out, right? So we started actually to loan money with Excel. We had Excel, and that's kind of how we did. And then we went, after a couple of months, we went to a conference, and there were like 10 companies from Lithuania, more and more startups, trying to do something in alternative finance. And most of them, all of them actually, except us, were doing some IT solution, because they thought that they need an IT solution to do that business. But at the end of the day, like today, out of that room of 10 companies, I think we are the only one alive. Because while they were investing heavily in IT, we were actually testing out legal framework, we were actually giving out first loans and seeing what happens, and then we put the IT platform afterwards. And with Debitum, we feel similarly. We already start to work, we start to work on blockchain, we start to work on blockchain solution, it's important, but we need to test it out, we need to get first results in as fast as possible, to make sure that the solutions that we deliver is as best as possible. Kind of that's our way of thinking.
Yeah.
So I really hope that I really believe that makes us outstanding in maybe not unique, like maybe we are not the only ones doing it, but I think it's really makes us outstanding from most of companies.
Yeah. Well, with a $2 trillion plus market, I mean, there's customers everywhere. The second you get this thing going and really working, I can only imagine how quickly you're going to customer, just gobbling up all these customers. And then us token holders, that's all I'm thinking about is, they have to keep giving out more tokens to make that loan work. The next loan, this is a good hold, guys. I'm telling my people on YouTube, guys, hold on to those Debitum tokens for a while. You know, as we say, hodl those tokens. Because that model you guys have is a hodler model. So everyone listening right now, this is a hodler's dream, I think, from what I'm hearing today. When does the ICO finally end? Like, when's the last day?
It's 25th of February, so it's 5 days. It's Sunday.
Yeah. Well, today's Monday here, but it'll be the 20th tomorrow, and that's when this video will go live. So yeah, you got about 5 days basically left, over here in this side of the world. And hopefully a few more people may been on the fence listening when I first did the Debitum, video, and may decide, you know what, maybe I should get a few of those, throw an ETH or two into that thing or more. Go ahead.
We actually see people coming back. Like we see on our Telegram
they'll
channel.
Invest and then come back and invest more?
Yeah. Very often we have a question. If I already contributed from this Ether address, can I do it again? And yes, you can. That's the answer. up to 12 Ether, you can do it with, you don't need KYC. More than 12, you need KYC. But basically, you can contribute as many times as you want from the same address. And we have very many, actually. Like, if you see a look at our Telegram channel, it's a very popular topic. Can I do it again?
Maybe they're finding out more information later, and they're
Yeah.
like, you know what? I do think I want to put more into that one, and it's funny because I've had a few in the past, a couple in the past where that kind of thing came up where they're like, hey, can we use the same address? I was like, you have to ask them. I'm not really sure. I only bought once, so but that's a good problem to have. People asking that question. That means you definitely got something people are recognizing. And I think maybe they heard it from somebody like me or read something, and then they're like, yeah, I'll get into that, see what happens, and then decided, let me look a little further into that, and then maybe found some things like we were just talking about with the way the token structure is for the loans, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute, I think I need to get some more of that one. So yeah, I think it'll be a great thing. I wish you guys, all the best of luck. Do you is there anything else you wanted to cover, or did you think we covered it, or?
I think we covered. I think we covered most of the things.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we covered the token model, where we come from, that we do partnerships. We believe in partnerships. I believe personally, and the team believes that through partnerships you can achieve success faster. It doesn't make It doesn't make much sense to try to do everything on your own. You need to get right partners in place. So again,
Well, yeah, and
like
you got PayPal.
others,
That is a good partner, in my opinion. You guys did that one right.
we really love it. I mean, I think that both of us love it. And actually, I was thinking for some time already that exactly like that approach, that credit score based on accounting, I thought that is exactly what we need to get into Debitum, because of course that all the small companies, they use accounting software, and of course that
Yep.
it's way better to give them credit ratings, credit scores based on what they do every day, like accounting.
best way.
Yeah, it's the best way, right? So I'm super hyped about that. I'm super hyped. I think that if we play our cards right, like both us and PayPal, and if we build on that partnership, we can achieve great. Actually, huge. We can achieve huge things.
Yep. Great. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Anytime in the future we need to do it again, just let us know. And I'll, again, everybody out there listening, you got about 5 days or so if you're wanting to get either more of these tokens or you don't have any, maybe you want to get some. But this is, honestly, everybody listening, this is the first time I really heard that one of these companies built the token structure to do what this guy said they're doing, where each loan that comes out, you need more tokens. Like that's like, to me, it's ingenious. Like that was a great move. Like that's epic. Because I know Populous, they have where you can earn residual income and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, all I got to do is hodl your tokens and just let you guys do your thing. 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years from now, you have all these customers and these loans are flying out all over the place. And I don't see why the tokens I'm holding would not become more valuable. I just can't.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Mathematically, it doesn't make sense. So I'm pretty happy about this, and I'm sure my people listening right now are probably even more happier than I am probably. So, anyways, hey, it was a pleasure talking to you, and we'll maybe have to do it again sometime. Once you get a little closer, your platform maybe is getting ready to be used, or you want to break some news or something. Let me know, and I'll break the news on my channel.
Okay.
All right, pleasure
Thank
talking
you
to
very
you.
much.
Take
Pleasure.
care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.